Okay, cool. So first question then is, how old were you when you left school?
15. No qualifications, limited education, and you know, I would say now, like, I realise that was a big mistake now when I look back on it. I should have left at 14, you know. There's just no point. You know, I always knew I was going to be a plumber. Always knew I was going to be okay, because plumbers earn good dosh. Yeah, so, you know, left at 15, but should have left at 14. But took a year out, somewhere in between that, moving from North London to South London, and I was sort of working then. And, you know, I think the quicker you get to work and the seeds are sown, the better. But, you know, some people need the education of it, or the educational side of it. I just think you need the drive and the enthusiasm and the willpower to succeed. But obviously, I'm sure having brains is helpful.
What made you get into plumbing?
Well, at that time, I was sort of about 9 or 10 years of age, come from a poor family, which many people did at the time. And there was a plumber in the area, a local plumber, and got to know him. He had like a motorbike, car, nice house, money, nice clothes, went on holiday and things like that. And so I used to bunk off school and help him. And, you know, that's, you know, I say, if ever the seeds are sown, it's when you're young like that. And you know, whatever he was going to be, I was going to be. You know, he happened to be a plumber. If he'd have been a bank robber, I'd have been a bank robber. So the seeds were sown then, and, you know, we used to go in all the big houses in Primrose Hill and Hampstead area, and, you know, and that's what I wound up doing, the plumbing and working in the good houses in Chelsea and Kensington. So whatever he'd done, Bill, I seem to have followed. Yeah. You know, he was a boxer, and I'd done a boxing. He had a shop, and I bought a shop, and he had a couple of divorces. I've had a couple of divorces. but I'm just saying, it follows suit. You know what I mean? I won't go into the nitty gritty, but yeah. But I'm just saying, it's, you know, that's how I think how it works. You know, we all copy off of somebody. You know, there ain't nothing new going on out there. We just copy off of people. And I think if somebody inspires you and you can spend a bit of time with them, then I think it's a winner.
Amazing, good stuff. You know, when you say you copy off people, one of the big things I'm saying with the Millionaire Mastermind is that success leaves clues. You know, and one of the main reasons that I'm bringing successful business people, high net worths to the mastermind is that, you know, we can follow the roadmap that's created by others to get to the success. Yeah, don't have to carve our own path.
If you know, you're all like mature looking people, aren't you? You're not sort of, you know, you've all got a business up and running, and you all know the basics, but if you can pick up something off somebody, no matter what it is, you know what I mean? It might be their hair, it might be, you know, it might be how they carry on, how they dress, or how confident they are, or whatever, and you just adapt that, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, wherever I go, it's like you're coming in and you think, oh, I wouldn't mind a light like that kind of thing, and but you know what I mean? It's like, it's sort of, we all learn off of somebody, and I think that's what I've done. You know, wherever I've gone around, you pick up something and you think, oh, I'm going to do that. Or, yeah, and that's how it works in business. There's no magic formula, and as you know, and you know, I realise business is a long-term sort of project. It's not overnight. You know, if you come to the front too quick, you're not going to stay there. Yeah. And then when you do get to the front, you know, they say it's hard to stay there. It is, but it's easier than building up. Once you're up there, you know, you're up and running. And but you know, it's a long-term project, and it's my take on it is, you know, the longer that you do it, if it's working, the better you're going to get at it. I'm not sure what the question was, but
no, that's cool. That's answered it. Success leaves clues, and you become a product of your environment. So, what made you start out in business, and how old were you? When did you realise that, right, I'm leaving Bill and I'm going to go and work on my own?
Well, I'd done an apprenticeship at 15, and finished at 19. And the day I finished my apprenticeship, I left. You know what I mean? That was it. That's like what you do with apprenticeships. You leave, and I become self-employed then at 19. I'd already building up a clientele, as you do, and then I tried a couple of different sort of ideas of plumbing. I've never done nothing but plumbing, and you know, I had a couple of like two-bob companies, like where you think you got it right, and then I had, you know, work with a couple of people and try that, and and that weren't for me. You know, I mean, partnerships I think can be good in business or bad, but it would never work for me in a million years. And then I was actually working in the Pimlico area, and I was working with a guy called Pat Fox, like Sammy Fox's father. Anyone know Sammy Fox, the page 3 girl of the 70s or 80s? Well, I used to work with Pat. He was a carpenter, and then he went off to help her do a modelling career, and I stayed in Pimlico and rented a room in Pimlico Properties. He offered us both this room in the basement. Pat went off to help her, and I took the room on, or the office, and that was, say, 1979. So whatever old I was then, I can't remember what age it was, but yeah. So in 1979 but I'd always been sort of self-employed. I never worked for a company since I finished my apprenticeship.
And when you formulated the company, did you have a vision for where it was going to end up? Did you want to dominate London and be the best in London, or did you kind of build to that as you went along? Because I think people sometimes, if they don't begin with the end in mind, they're unsure on the journey. Yeah. Some people are clear, some people aren't clear.
No, I wasn't clear. I mean, if I'm being honest, I got offered this room, and I was having sleepless nights thinking, why was a plumber want a room? You know, it just doesn't work, does it? You know, you can't do your plumbing in there, and I just couldn't get it. And I'm thinking, I don't know what is this right, is it wrong? I've got to get a phone and an answer machine, and I just didn't really sort of understand it enough. But something was telling me it was the way forward. I don't know what. I mean, I didn't even set out to start a company. You know, I was an individual plumber, and because I was working in Pimlico, and I was turning up with the jobs, and people saying, "Oh, you're the Pimlico plumber," because I didn't move out of Pimlico, and you know, and then all of a sudden I employ someone, and you're Pimlico plumbers kind of thing. So I didn't actually set out. I mean, if I'm being honest, all I ever wanted to be was a plumber. That was fine with me at the time. But then once you sort of all of a sudden you start seeing how much wealth is out there and how much money is there, and you want more of it, and then started employing people. So it's like, I certainly didn't see, you know, nobody could see what happened at the end.
So it evolved as time went on.
Yeah, well, I think once you get going, and you know, you got one person, two persons, and you know, you can see that where it's leading to. Like, you know, you can see, you know, if someone said to me, give me one business tip, I'd say employ people. I don't know how you can do it without employing people. You know, most millionaire people I know, they've employed quite a few people, and the worst thing in business is employing people. This is my take. Obviously, someone else would tell you totally different. But the worst thing is employing people, but it's also the best thing, because I think without it, I don't see you going anywhere. But that's my take. You know what I mean? So when we wrapped it up, we had 450 people on board. And of course that brings in the revenue,
amazing,
and hopefully the profits.
Yeah, fantastic. There was one thing you said there about, you know, when you start to see the wealth is out there, you know, and I'm a big believer that you become a product of your environment. And you said, you know, you were working in Pimlico, you were working in the nice houses, but you didn't come from wealth. So do you think that working for the high level clientele inspired you to do more than what you were doing? And it was, you know, being around those people that had built the wealth what rubbed off on you and then made you decide to go on and build wealth, really go for it?
I say the guy Bill Ellis who I bunked off school with, it was in these amazing houses, and I'll be honest with you, I was convinced that he went back at night and robbed them. You know, as a kid, you're thinking, where does he get all this money from? So I'm thinking he must go back at night. And we was in a bathroom once, I remember this even though I ain't got a good memory, and we're on the ground floor and he's left the window open because of the blow lamp and all that. And I'm thinking, I've worked him out, he's going to come back tonight. Stupid idea, but it was that much money that he had. I thought he must break into them. And you know, so you see all that, and then when you realise it's not, because you know he's going back there, and everybody loved the guy, and I thought to myself, I've got to do this. So my intention, once I got to Pimlico, I knew then that, you know, you've got to be better. This is my take. You've got to be better off working for wealthy people. I mean, it's easier to get money out of people that's got it than trying to get money out of people that hasn't got it. You know, and I'm not saying there's no difference in people, you know, but I'm just sort of saying, why would you, you know, work for people that haven't got the money if you can work for people that have got it, if you know what I mean. And of course, people with money, you could charge more money. Of course you can. They want a better quality service, a better product. And, you know, I think whatever your business is, another thing I will say to anybody, you know, it's all about quality of service or quality of product is for me, or quality of what you do. People will always pay for quality.
Amazing. So, you know, you're famous for kind of that high end, working for celebrities, you know, charging higher prices, amazing quality of work. But I think a lot of people, you know, when they start a business or they're operating their business, they think they need to kind of be the cheapest just to compete. But you've gone completely opposite, and there's not many people that are able to do that I see across all sectors. So what was it that gave you the confidence to command and charge those higher prices?
Yeah, well, again, I think it's like quality of service. You know, everybody wants a good service, and you know, you can, you know, many people can get a £20 an hour plumber, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, the top end of people are happy to pay £70 an hour for a plumber. So of course you've got to get better people, and you've got to present yourself better. But I just see that as an easier market. I mean, well, it's obviously an easier market because there's a million plumbing companies out there that, you know, are just plodding along and ain't going to go nowhere. So I thought to myself that, you know, why not go in at the top end? I mean, we weren't going in at rip-off prices because, you know, you have to build up a customer base. But by going in at the top end, people expect a good quality service, and as long as you provide that, it's a winner.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. So, you know, increasing your value proposition to the customer and making sure that you are doing what the competition isn't doing. You know, if they're...
Well, it's either quality or quantity in it, really. And, you know, we was never a cut price plumbing outfit, and want to be. And, you know, you also find, well, our sales pitch is, you know, the cheapest is the dearest in plumbing. And that's, you know, straight away, if, you know, you get a cheap plumber and, you know, you're paying more for it. So people that have got money will rather pay the top end and get the real deal. But it's all about, you know, coming up with the quality. You know what I mean? You know, it's like people are, you know, you can buy a suit with 200 quid, or I don't mean that literally.
This is my suit, Charlie.
or £5 grand. You know, it's still a suit, but you know, that's the market.
You killed me.
But you know what I'm saying. So that's whatever market you're in. Not every business can go to the, you know, the top end. You know, I don't know. You know, I mean, but if I was using a financer or an estate agent, I want the best, and I want to pay the best and get the best. So there is a market out there. Well, I always say, you know, if we didn't offer a quality service in business, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah, amazing stuff. So, you know, you really got to know your customer, right?
Well, yeah, what I always say to somebody is, you know, you work out what your product, then you work out your market sort of share, or your market that you're going to go to, you know, and then you work the price out accordingly. And I don't believe there's anything wrong with coming in at top end, long as it's a quality product and it's, you know, a value for money kind of thing, you know. It's all about the quality of what you offer, you know. But I say people will always pay for quality.
Who in the room would rather work for high-end customers? Yeah, everyone. So, you know, you've got to follow Charlie's journey and how
But
he's
what about the ones that wouldn't? Is there anyone here that is happy to work for the cheaper end? No? Oh. Anyone? This lady? Never? No. Well,
but like you say, it's all right at scale, isn't it? If you get that market right and you drive quantity, sell it cheap, stack them high, it's fine, because there is a market for that. But it's about knowing your market, which is the important part. Primark's a very successful business, and they sell a lot of cheap shit at high volume, you know, but it works for them. So it's okay to have that business model.
It doesn't work for everybody. You know, and I think you've got a speaker later today, Alfie Best, haven't you?
Yeah.
And, you know, he may have a different take on things, you know, totally different. It doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm just saying it worked for me. And if I went again tomorrow, our prices will be even dearer and better quality. Because people, I go back to saying, people always pay for quality. And everything I'm spouting out is things I've picked up off other people. As I say, you know, I don't think there's nothing new in business. It's just picking it up and turning it to work for you. You you know, there's another thing. The thing is no substitute for experience, and you know, I can say 41 years down the line running Pimlico, you hit all the down times, the up times, and so I can confidently say there's no substitute for experience. But if I went again, it'd be so much easier. It would so much easier because you know what you can achieve, and I sort of always look back and I think to myself, I should have thought big. I always tell people, always think big. Bigger the better you think, and even now I would think bigger in plumbing. You know, if I was going to do an advertising sign, say, you know, before I packed in, it was 20 foot long, I'd now do it 100 foot long. And I'm using that in, you know, if I'm going to put 10 vans on the road, I now want to put 50. And everything, I think you've got to think bigger, but it's practical. You know, if you can put 10 on the road, you can put 500 on the road. You know, we would have gone national now. We stuck to London, and that's fine. There's loads of plumbing in London, but I could have spread out more in London, so we could have doubled their staff in London easily. I didn't really want to, if I'm being honest, go much out of London because I think it's a controlled thing. You feel comfortable, you know, being on top of things. But it's definitely it's an old saying, but you've got to think bigger.